जब डॉल्फिन सर्फेस कर रहा था उसके साथ मछेरे भी सर्फेस कर रहे थे, फिशरमैन, खग्गा के मछेरे, catfish. And what they were doing, they were diving in the water, they were taking the catfish, biting the catfish in the neck and then putting them in their dhotis.
इतना casually.
जो छोटे मछली थे वो डॉल्फिन को दे रहे थे. It was so magical. It was this, कि इंसान और वाइल्ड लाइफ का ताल्लुक खूबसूरत भी हो सकता है.
हम अपनी गुफ्तगू जारी रख रहे हैं विद जुल्फ़िकार अली भुट्टो और हम बात कर रहे हैं अबाउट द स्टोरीज ही कलेक्टेड सराउंडेड बाय वाइल्ड लाइफ एंड हिज क्रिटिकल टेक ऑन अर्बन डेवलपमेंट.
We think कि तरक्की का मतलब है बड़ी इमारत. Why? You don't have to live in a giant house to be developed. You have to be educated. You have to have access to healthcare and to school, right? That's development. Free education, free healthcare, a roof over your head, pani, bijli, gas, right?
Welcome to the second part of this episode of Out of the Box.
मैं इतनी लंबी कहानी नहीं सुनाऊंगा, मगर बेसिकली जब मैं 14 साल का था, I volunteered for Sindh Wildlife Life Department and WWF.
जी.
और मैं I can't remember उस वक्त कौन था, मगर उसने मुझे बताया था कि तुम सक्खर जाओ, वहाँ पर आप एक शख्स मिलेंगे, इसका नाम है मिस्टर हुसैन बख्श भगत. वो उस वक्त की डेप्यूटी कंजर्वेटर था सिंध वाइल्ड लाइफ डिपार्टमेंट की. So I went and immediately, no takalluf, shakalluf, nothing. He just immediately took me and put me on a boat in the river. And he said, अभी गौर से देखो दरिया को, गौर से देखो, तुम्हारे पास कैमरा है? मैंने कहा कि नहीं है सर. हमें कैमरा तुम्हारे पास हमेशा होना चाहिए. तो मैंने कहा सॉरी. So मैं गौर से देख रहा था. फिर 10 मिनट बाद I saw from the pani this dolphin jump. I was like, and in the middle of Sakhar. We weren't in some rural place, no? We were in the middle of the city of Sakhar. And one dolphin, then another dolphin, then another dolphin, then another dolphin. And I just fell in love. And he also, this same Dr. Hussain Bakhsh Bhagat, he also involved me in a dolphin rescue, ना? Because dolphins केनालों में फंस जाते हैं, तो उनको rescue करना पड़ता है, और इसलिए इनकी numbers बढ़ रहे हैं.
कैसे?
क्योंकि जो केनाल और बैराज का सिस्टम ऐसे है ना, यू हैव द दरिया, फिर इधर बैराज है, फिर इधर नहरों के दरवाजे हैं. तो सखर बैराज पे 7 नहर हैं जो बहुत बहुत बड़े हैं और बहुत बहुत लंबे हैं. एंड सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि सैलाब के मौसम में दीज गेट्स ओपन, फिर मछली उसमें जाते हैं, और जो बुलहन है वो मछली के पीछे पड़ जाते हैं. They go and follow the fish to eat them. And also they breed, they like to breed in the canals because it's smaller, they have more privacy.
I completely respect that.
Exactly. And so they just go, it's a whole ecosystem that has been created that they take advantage of because so much of the ecosystem has been ruined. So जब सर्दी मौसम में ये जो gates है वो बंद होते हैं और फिर पानी कम हो जाता है. So when the pani goes low, then the dolphins die because they are exposed to the sun. So you have to rescue them and then you put them back in the river. So I went on one dolphin rescue mission and he invited me and I was among all these Mirbir, Malha, conservator here, conservator there, और मैं 15 साल का बच्चा बस बैठा.
Oh God.
And I went and we caught the dolphin, and you have to put an ambulance and you put pani on it so that it stays wet. So I was at the head of the dolphin, and it has a really, really, really big head and a really, really, really big nose and big, big, big teeth. तो dinosaur जैसे लगता है, और dinosaur है, by the way. It's older than marine porpoises. It's one of the oldest species of dolphin in the world. It's very interesting. And I was just staring at it. A dolphin ऐसे
Transfixed हो जाता है.
हाँ, और वो भी सांस ले, मैं सांस ले रहा था और वो भी सांस ले रहा था. In sync, right? And so you can't not be affected by an experience like that. So then I tried कि उसके बारे में एक आर्टिकल भी लिखा था, फिर वापस भी जा रहा था. And then I went to the US, I went to UK and US, I got my education. And this was another reason I wanted to come back, because it always was here in my mind. You have to do something for Bhulan, right? And this was something that was stuck in my mind. So this is truly the beginning of the project, was my childhood. And it is by God's grace and generosity that I have been able to come back to Pakistan and pursue this. And also, it is due to the great generosity of the people around me who have given me access to these spaces and these resources. So, yeah, it's been a very beautiful experience.
So, acha, वैसे this just came to my mind this question कि you talk about people experiences. मुझे हमेशा बहुत fascinate करती है. People have so many stories to tell, especially when they're working on ground. कोई ऐसी story, someone maybe, or some incident that always like stuck by you कि okay, it's always there at the back of your mind, right? कोई ऐसी story, कुछ भी, it could be anything when you were working on any of your projects.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Actually, there's one good one. So मैंने collaboration की जनन सिंधु के साथ. He's a filmmaker. तो और हमारी British Council की grant आई, and we worked on a few films about the dolphin. और एक शख्स नज़ीर मिरानी जो कि dolphin savior है. They call him the father of the dolphins. He's been doing dolphin rescues since he was 8-9 years old. Now he's, I think, in his early 50s. We're not sure. So हम उसके बारे में कुछ films बना रहे थे, and we were going in the Sindhu, and we reached a point on an island, right? Island के बिल्कुल end. और हमने देखा कि वहाँ पर बहुत dolphins थे. And that's rare. It was like 20 dolphins, which is pretty rare, right? In the city of Sakhar. फिर हमने देखा कि जब डॉल्फिन सर्फेस कर रहा था, उसके साथ मछेरे भी सर्फेस कर रहे थे. Fishermen, खग्गा के मछेरे, catfish. And what they were doing, they were diving in the water, they were taking the catfish, biting the catfish in the neck, and then putting them in their dhotis.
Not casually.
हाँ, और their dhotis were like big, full of मछलीज. और उसके जो छोटे मछली थे वो डॉल्फिन को दे रहे थे. तो बिल्कुल मछेरा और डॉल्फिन के बीच में सिर्फ 1 फुट का फासला था. एंड इट वाज सो इंटरेस्टिंग. एक तरफ मछेरे, दूसरी तरफ डॉल्फिन, एक तरफ मछेरे, दूसरी तरफ डॉल्फिन. एंड इट वाज द मोस्ट वंडरफुल थिंग. और हमारे सर के ऊपर एक दरख्त भी था, because we were on the island was right there, right? And there was these giant bats, this big, like dogs, squeaking in front of our heads. It was the most amazing experience. Or Sakhar शहर के बीच में. It was so magical. It was this, कि इंसान और wildlife का ताल्लुक खूबसूरत भी हो सकता है, और एक ताल्लुक भी हो सकता है. We think कि हम जानवर के दुश्मन हैं, कि अगर हम जानवर देखते हैं तो हम उसको मारते हैं. नहीं, एक रिश्ता भी हो सकता है, एक ताल्लुक भी हो सकता है.
हमारे मुल्क में तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हम बात करें बिल्डिंग अ रिलेशनशिप,
Building a
स्पेशली
relationship.
with the amount of strays out there, the amount of
Yes.
the treatment towards them is like, how can you?
हमारे पास है कैपेसिटी देखभाल करने के लिए. We have the capacity. जैसे इसी मिसाल में जो मछेरे थे, वो जो छोटे छोटे मछली थे जो कि वो नहीं खाएंगे, वो डॉल्फिन को दे रहे थे. क्यों नहीं? सिंपल. जो बैट्स थे, चिमकादार थे, वो अपने बिजनेस माइंड कर रहे थे, बस देख रहे थे कि हम क्या कर रहे थे. एंड और वो सिर्फ फ्रूट ही खाते हैं. हमारे ऊपर नुकसान नहीं पहुंचे. Yeah, they just eat fruits. They're fruit bats. They're flying foxes. They're the biggest bats in the world, and they're indigenous to Pakistan. I mean, this is something to be proud of. Why aren't we proud of these things? We keep going on about man-made things. Tech related, or what are we doing this, or the biggest or the biggest that, or everything that we're making, we're trying to ego boost every time कि फलाना आर्किटेक्ट ने ये किया, मलिक रियाज ने ये बदसूरत चीज़ बनाया, और ये किया, वो किया. Like, why? God has given us more than these people will ever, and that's something to be proud of.
True.
And so, yeah, we can take care of our dogs, we can take care of our cats, we can take care of all of these cute little things.
So I noticed that you use the word Bulhan, so it's like a Sindhi, a Siraiki word. So how important is language, not just at an individual level, but collectively for us? Because living in a country like Pakistan, there's like a richness of languages. The way we can express ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Language for me is very important, and maybe it's because I don't speak 100% of anything, but I think Sindhi for me is here. It's in the heart, you know, and I think it's important that we use that for my project. I try and use Sindhi words. I try and use Sindhi अल्फाज क्योंकि हमारे अपने अल्फाज भी है जो बुलंद हैं. हम इसको ऐसे स्पेल करते हैं. एक दो नुक्ते वाला बे है ऊपर नीचे, लाम दो चश्मी है, और नून हमारा ना नून नहीं है, उसमें उसमें तोय है.
Okay.
So you know how noon has a nukta?
Yeah.
So nukte के बदले में हमारा तोय है, जैसे टे
अच्छा.
या रे,
जी जी
तो
जी.
हम रणा बोलते हैं. So I think it's important to preserve the language. It's beautiful. Why not? You know, we are a diverse country. We are diverse people, and the language you speak indicates how you think also, right? So Urdu doesn't have a name for the dolphin, but Sindhi and Saraiki does.
अच्छा, उर्दू में नहीं है?
उर्दू में नहीं है, पंजाबी में भी नहीं है, मगर हिंद को सराइकी और सिंधी में है. इसके मतलब है कि इनका एक ताल्लुक है ना, इनका एक रिलेशनशिप है दरिया सिंध के साथ और इसी जानवर के साथ कि वो इसको नाम दे सकते हैं. और बुलहन की जो स्टोरी है वो एक सिंधी कहानी है कि एक्चुअली असल में बुलहन जो है वो एक औरत थी, एंड वो आई थिंक पानी लेने के लिए गई थी किसी कुआं में या दरिया के साथ, और फिर एक फ़कीर बैठा हुआ था, एंड ही सर मुझे पानी दो. तो उसने कहा कि नहीं, ये मेरे ख़ानदान के लिए है. तो फ़कीर ने कहा कि फ़कीर ने उसके ऊपर कर्स डाला था. कर्स मतलब अजाब.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
I'm
In the
really
same language.
Yeah, I am in the same boat.
He put a curse on her and made her into a dolphin. That's the story, right? So the dolphin is a feminine animal. You know, आपने बुलहन देखी, right? So it's interesting. It has like
लानत भेजना.
हाँ?
लानत भेजना कहते हैं, I think curse. I think so.
Oh, right,
I
Lanat
think
Vejna.
so. I
Okay,
think so.
probably. Well, we'll let the comments decide. So, so yeah, I think language is very important. I think Sindhi is very important. It indicates a culture, it indicates a tradition, it indicates a belief system. And in the same way, I think Punjabi is also important. I think Hindko is important. I think Saraiki is important. It's important to preserve these things because when we preserve language, we preserve stories, we preserve traditions. And in a globalized world, it's easy to forego those for convenience. And we can't afford to do that. You know, we really can't afford to do that. So that's why for me language and distinguishing language and distinguishing cultures is important for me as well, and also finding their similarities.
So you were invited as a speaker at the Sindh Moorat March. So why was it important for you to amplify these voices by joining them? और दूसरा सवाल ये भी है कि पाकिस्तानी citizens के लिए भी क्यों ज़रूरी है to amplify their voices and join them?
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's a basic human right. वो भी इंसान है, हम भी इंसान हैं. वो और ये ऐसे नहीं है कि वो कहीं बाहर मुल्क से आके उन्होंने ये चीज़ शुरू की, बना लिया. ऐसे कुछ नहीं है. वो तो हमारे अपने ही हैं. ये तो हमारे दादी है, ये तो हमारे खाला है, चाचा है, बहनें हैं, बच्चे भी हैं. हमारे अपने हैं. So how can we reject them? They're a reflection of you. We're each other. They're a reflection of you. You're a reflection. I mean, there's what's different, right? And they've occupied such a powerful place in our history because, क्योंकि ना वो मर्द है ना वो औरत है, but now things are changing. Now there's a sort of different attitude, which is fine. We're evolving. Humanity evolves. Countries evolve. But because they occupy this middle ground, they have a special status of fakiri, right? They can ask for Allah to give you a child because they can't have one. So this is the exchange, This is the power of this spirituality. But that's sort of going on into the more esoteric. But I think ultimately They're human beings that deserve rights, that deserve recognition. And not only that, we all deserve dignity. All human beings and all non-human beings deserve dignity.
To put it simply,
To put it simply, we deserve dignity. And ultimately, also something that I learned from my father actually was the practice of kindness. The only legacy that's worth leaving behind is one of kindness. And the practicing of kindness makes us empathize, or at least sympathize. Would we want to be treated like the way people treat them? Absolutely not. So if you are kind, you'll realize that everyone deserves to breathe, to live. Right? That's ultimately, we can get into the legal debates, you can get into the religious debates. Sure, people like debating, debate on. Go ahead. No one's stopping you. You don't like it, you like it, whatever. No one can control what you think. But ultimately, don't treat people like trash, And that's why I joined the movement. That's why I did a speech there. That's why, and they were very kind to have me. So I feel very grateful.
You're right. Logistical level, मतलब logistics में जाएंगे तो we can go on and on. लेकिन moral level पे देखा जाए तो it's very simple. It's very simple. And I'm glad you brought up history because it's crazy how things changed for them because जब like this is before partition जो उनका दर्जा था दरबार में और जो like amongst the emperors को यहाँ से अर्श से फर्श पे गिरा दिया हमने.
Yeah.
It's like जो opportunities, yeah.
It's true. You're right. You're so right. That's really well put, actually. Yeah.
तो वैसे हुआ है उनके साथ. So we have a segment where our followers have questions for our guests. So there are two questions for you. So in this segment, I'm just going to ask those questions. So the first question is from Shoaib, and he says, "How can we save the environment of Sindh, especially the Indus River and sea view?"
Oh gosh, you're asking me this question. I think in some way मैंने इसका जवाब भी
जी
दी
दिया शुरू
कि
में.
कि जो मेहनत करने वाले लोग वो बहुत हैं और लोग बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं. और ये भी है कि अगर आप किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस पे जाएंगे ना, यू विल हियर कि जो पहला स्पीकर है वो जो ही विल से एवरीथिंग, सब कुछ कहेगा. मतलब कि दरियाई सिंध को दरिया पहुंचना है, ये एक वजह है, ये दो वजह है, ये तीन वजह, he'll give you all the reasons. And then the conference is over because we've already said it. We know what we have to do. It's not a mystery, right? It's not a mystery. जो सिंधु दरिया के कुदरती रास्ते हैं वो खुलना पड़ता है. डैम बनाना हमें ख़त्म करनी चाहिए ताकि दरिया सिंध समंदर तक पहुंच सकता है. We need a more equal distribution of water. We need land reforms again. Because if people have their patches of land, I truly believe that they'll be able to organize themselves, that the standard of living will also rise, and people will also probably start farming on a more subsistence level as well, which will be a less greedy way of doing things. In terms of the sea and sea view, you can tell DHA to stop pumping refuse into the sea. They're doing that every day. You can stop them from building Imar. Stop Imar. Why are they building Imar? Why are they constantly putting trash into the ocean? They're putting trash into the ocean to reclaim land, right? So why stop doing that? Just stop. And this disease of development. We think कि तरक्की का मतलब है बड़ी इमारत. Why? You don't have to live in a giant house to be developed. You have to be educated. You have to have access to healthcare and to a school, right? That's development. Free education, free healthcare, a roof over your head, pani, bijli, gas, right? Wi-Fi maybe also. But these are the this is what we aim for, the basic things. So, but unfortunately, our drive for greed and private benefit is stopping us from seeing the truth. So the answers are there. We know them.
हमें पता है कि power है urban development में वो तो everyone is seeking that.
There's billions of dollars in real estate in this country. People are dying. लोग भूख से मर रहे हैं. वो अंडे भी नहीं खरीद सकते. वो डबल रोटी भी नहीं खरीद सकते. वो मक्खन भी नहीं, सब्जी भी नहीं, टमाटर भी नहीं खरीद सकते. मगर फिर भी लोग प्लॉटें
प्लॉट
खरीद
ले
रहे
रहे
हैं.
एक तरफ से या
How is this happening? This is a sign of the unequal distribution of wealth and the greed of land mafias. And पहले में हम सोचते थे कि लैंड माफिया छोटे छोटे लोग थे जो कि कब्जा करते थे. नहीं, अभी लैंड माफिया तो बड़े बड़े लोग हैं जो कि पूरे पहाड़ लेके डेवलपमेंट करते हैं.
ओके सो दूसरा सवाल है उर्वा का. सो एक्साइटेड, आई वांट टू नो अबाउट हिम एंड हिज गोल्स. आई थिंक मे बी यू कैन टेल अस अबाउट अ प्रोजेक्ट यू आर वर्किंग ऑन
Yeah, that's
or
nice of
something.
Urva.
Yeah.
My goals, I just want to keep working. I just want to keep working. There's so much work to do. Jo art karna, I don't know. I think maybe people don't understand this, but it's literally life. Art is life. You know, if I don't do art, I lose the plot a little bit. So I just want to continue making art. I want to continue raising awareness. And something that I think all artists or a lot of artists ये कोशिश करें, जो फनकार हैं, जो आर्टिस्ट हैं, वो ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इनकी आर्ट एक्शन को कैसे तर्जुमा करें. So this is the goal.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of art and projects, congratulations. Your exhibition tomorrow, We Inherit in the Earth, a study in textile, is going to be up at Como Museum towards the end of Feb.
Inshallah,
So if
yeah.
you're someone who's interested, please do check it out. The dates will be up hopefully soon.
They'll be up, yes.
So you can follow Como Museum or Zulfikar to be up to date. So congratulations on that. I'm sure everyone will praise your work because of the
Inshallah.
dedication. Yeah.
Inshallah, thank you.
So with that, I think this is pretty much it. So thank you so much again for being here.
It was
Thank
my
you.
pleasure.
I had a it wasn't just fun, but it was also very insightful. I didn't know a lot of things. So yeah, I learned a lot. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
And thank you everyone who joined, and I will catch you in another episode very soon. And please do not forget to subscribe to be up to date. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आई है तो लाइक करें और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करें. कमेंट्स में अपनी थॉट्स बताएं और माटी टीवी को सब्सक्राइब करें.